Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, September 11th, 2025. I'm kicking it off a little bit early today. Sorry for those folks in YouTube land that saw the 2 o'clock announcement, but um, I got some things to do this afternoon. Hello, enthusiast Hans, LD Industries from your hotel room. All right. DRZ Pens, hello. Doctor's Pens. We are, my daughter is not going to be around on Friday for us to do our normal live podcast. So we are shooting it tonight, and then we will make it go live Friday at the regular time. So she's coming over here. We're going to shoot it at about 4:15 ish, and then she is. I forget where she's going. She's going to probably some other state. I don't know, Minnesota, or I don't know where she's going. She's doing something. So she's leaving right from here. So she's coming over at 4:50. She's coming over about 3:45. So that's when we're going to kind of try to wrap this up today. So hopefully we make some progress on the 51 backs from yesterday, and I was supposed to get another. The U.S. Postal System tracking is amazing. I was supposed to get They said I was supposed to get a pen yesterday, and it didn't come yesterday. And then I looked, and it says, "Oh, well, it's going to come today." And then I looked this morning, and it was like it left Minnesota or something, whatever state it was. I think it was Minnesota, like at 3:40 this morning. Like it's not getting here. There's no way. So it's going to get here tomorrow, which is fine because we can maybe hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got 451s to try to get open. And if we can get those open, it would be great to get these in and out. I believe, what is today? Thursday. Yeah. So I think tomorrow I'm going to do a stream tomorrow too. So we'll have a stream sometime in the afternoon, probably 2:30 ish, right after the podcast. So we'll do that just for a little bit, maybe. I think I'm pretty sure. There was something else we were supposed to do here, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I might have some visitors. So I figured I would just hang out and repair some pens until they came over. So I guess that was it. All right, let's take a look at what we got on the bench. Flip that over. These are the parts from yesterday. The pens. We got some spaces here where we got pens to do. Let's see my notes. Check barrels, clean caps, and clean out the pellet cups. So I think what we should do is let's try and see. I've had these other 4 soaking for overnight, and then I only have 3 slots on my little device, and so I swapped one over and ran the ultrasonic a little bit today. So we could get some ultrasonic time. So hopefully we'll get something open here. We got a gray one. I have spent most of my morning working on desk sets. We are going to launch at least 24 tomorrow. Actually, I have 27, but I don't think all 27 are going to go. But yeah, I wanted to get them at least to get a good headway. I think I've got 19. I've got five more to do. So I'll do those tomorrow morning, so they'll be ready, and we'll make the desk sets live during the podcast tomorrow. So at last count, there will be available 5 444 dipless sets. There will be a very early DB112 desk base with the early R. Estabrook and Company pen. Really a nice piece. Raised ring. There's at least one other DB112, a modern one with the red taper. There's also a DB116, which is the colored version of the 8-ball. Those are all 8 balls. A bunch of Parker. There's a Parker 21, actually a really nice 21 desk set, and a bunch of 51 desk sets, all Aerometrics, including one I really like, that I weighed today, and it weighs 2 pounds 11 ounces. It's a heavy desk set. My daughter's going to Minnesota. Suggests that a 6-pack of interesting beer is a nice gift for her father. Surely, I should do that. I should do that. What else is in the mix? There's really big, excuse me, a really big Schaefer double, ballpoint and touchdown, Imperial touchdown. A couple other big base sets. Throw that one back in. We'll try another one. So keep an eye out for those if you're interested in any of that stuff. I'm going to be excited to get rid of them and make room for more desk sets because I have more. I think there's like 3 Estabrook 8 balls, one a DB116 in gray, that are going to probably not make the grade this time around. I think my daughter's run out of time, so. But there's some fun stuff in there. The 2 dual-fold junior mandarins. One of them's got a little magnifying glass in the base. It's pretty cool. That one's not coming. I would like two of the 4 of these to open up. If not, we're gonna if these don't open up, we'll keep them in the water and It may just need to soak for another couple of days. There we go. Yeah, I just didn't do enough heat. It'll take a really pretty good amount of heat. Oh, that one started. I'm gonna try these other two again. I would just feel a sense of accomplishment if we can get at least them all open. The people are still working on the roof this morning. When I ended the stream yesterday, I noticed that they had it's a flat roof, so there must have been some standing water, and they're replacing some of the the boards underneath, and some water must have just made its way down into my unit here. So a couple of my new ceiling tiles are all nasty. Hmm. That's a hard pass on that. Let's try this other one more time, and then if not, we'll try them again at the end of the session if we got time. Any damage to the facility despite the besides the no, nothing so far. Just a lot of excess noise. It was real nice this morning. We got in at 6:45 Oh, that wasn't nice. They buying me a new display case? They better not damage any of my cases. And I decided this morning I didn't, normally I listen to jazz or funk or something like that. Um, Maybe a little something more progressive in the afternoons. But this morning I just needed something. I was listening to some classical music, and then it was really nice for a little while, and then all of a sudden, pound, pound, pound. And thankfully, the water damage is away from where any of the pens or any of the product or any of that stuff is. So, but I got to kind of keep an eye on it because I can't have my paper get wet. Oh, hey, want to try? I'm gonna try this gray one again. 3 out of 4 so far. That's not bad. But you can't ship them back until you get the other last one done. There we go. Awesome. Well, that's all nice and clean in there now. It's been sitting soaking for 24 hours. PB Pickett in YouTube. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, I don't think we had to do much with that. He'd be covering everything just in case. I hadn't thought about it, but I wasn't expecting it. Um, I do have some tarps in the car. Where is there? It is. Gray is a great color to work on because you can see the diaphragm easily. Go. Good news to report about the 1960s Multiplock 140 and asked about repairing Kirk's spear. Was in my area this past weekend. Ground a medium stub to suit your rotation. Now it's perfect. One time was lacking, but there was just enough for the grind. Yeah, sometimes that's really a tough situation. That's... Was that at the Crazy Allen event? I think he was there, wasn't he? Yeah. Man, I wish I could have made it. It's not like a ton of people were there. $46. Number 8 is 46. Where's my... Kirk was booked up a couple weeks ahead of time. Happy to see support for the new owners. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw some pictures. You know what? I'm going to do each of these individually so I don't forget what's going on. How do I keep my workstation so neat? Well, if you can see the rest of it, this actually makes me a little nervous, but I like to have them all together since it's all for the same client. But my desk, my actual work table is actually 6 feet long. And since I moved here a couple weeks ago, I was able to change how I organize certain things. And it's a little bit cleaner. There's usually like a mess over here on the right side that you can't see, and that's usually the it's my most used tools. I got a knife, I got an X-Acto, I've got my, you know, my buff stick, I got a piece of brass shim, I've got, you know, razor blades, Q-tips and stuff. And then on the left, I usually have, that's where all my tools are and other stuff. But I've been trying to be good about putting things away after you're done using them, you know. But I've got, you know, I've got 2 of these cups with water in off to the right. I've got the ultrasonic over here. So, I mean, it's really, it's not ideal, but if I wasn't streaming and I didn't have to have a computer here, it would be a whole lot easier. The live stream is helping you keep your mind occupied, having to do prep for a favorite thing. Oh, too. Colonoscopy. Yeah. Yeah. That's no fun. I am free of that for 5 years, so. Let's heat this up. You know, it really is I mean, the prep's the hardest part, right? You know, as everybody knows. Anybody who's done it knows. And if you haven't done it, the prep's the hardest part. The rest of it's pretty easy. You just go to sleep and you wake up and it's all done. $70 ounces of liquid started at 9. Ooh. I understand there's a couple different ways to do it. Some people have to do like half in one day and half the next. I just did it all in one day. Get it all done and over with. I don't know why you would want to do it any other way. Got your first Heinz pen today? How do you like it? I've only ever actually seen one in person. It's one I got here on consignment. Well, that one came out easy, but this hole is concerning to me because it's awfully wide. Just a few minutes ago in the mail. Okay. We'll do this one here since it's in the same tray. That's pretty nasty, huh? Let's just throw that in there right away. Drop that in the ultrasonic. The container looks like it's filled with motor oil. Yeah. Contrary to public opinion, it actually still keeps working. It just looks bad. I am getting close to replacing it though. can't really even see the pellet. There's so much junk in here. There it is. Stuff works for a long time. Yeah, it's just getting good. Yeah, I will be stocking those. It's actually on the list. Like probably in the next week to 2 weeks. Lisa and I were just talking about it the other night. Come on. There we go. Do I work on stuck pistons? No, I don't do pistons. Usually I refer people to Mike Kennedy. Although I know his queue is like ridiculously backed up. If you take that into consideration when you send them something, you know you know what you're getting into. Monte Grappa has a stuck piston. And what does Monte Grappa have to say about it? The nib unit is threaded. You can remove it and fill the barrel with water. Let that soak overnight and see if the piston moves the next day. Oh yeah, I'll contact the maker. Well, they're now handling. I mean, they've decided they didn't need a U.S. distributor after all these years of having one, which was kind of a bold move, but. Pen Addict rating, party of 88. That's a good number. Welcome, everyone. Gourmet Pens, Aziza, Sup, Brad. Match makes things from Corolla. Hello, Olive. Welcome. We're working on some 51 vacs today. Thank you for the follow. Slumberland, hello. Planning with John. That sounds like something I need to do. Plan. Katie, thank you for the follow. Newland, welcome. Oh my God. Keeps going. Yo, Steffi. I like that one. Claxor. Thanks for the follow. Welcome aboard. Any questions on pen repair? Just ask. Good. Let's see what else we got in here. Hopefully, we're going to be cooking through these 51 vacs. We've got 10 51 vacs here. Mont Blanc fanny packs. They make some. They do make. That's right. They do make a fanny pack, don't they? It is the most ridiculous thing on the planet, isn't it? Like, did they take a survey to see if anybody really, really, really wanted a Mont Blanc fanny pack? Yeah, I did get the sections out. Quite happy. Our pens made any better now than they used to be. I don't really think so. I think vintage pens are better for sure. Shelby, thanks for the follow. I need one for my pen show purchases. You know, it actually would probably be very helpful, wouldn't it? I mean, we've seen worse things. You know, the trend for a long time was um the trend for a long time was the fishing vest. And you still some people see some guys wearing them. Color maker, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I don't think the fishing vest is. I mean, I don't know. It's a toss up. What's a better fashion statement? The fishing vest. Now look how nice that turned out. Look how nice that turned out. Isn't that nice? It's so nice. Um, will the fancy fanny pack hold Mont Blanc's fancy electronic paper thing? I don't know. The augmented paper. Now, didn't they have? Didn't they go through two separate apps for that silly thing? I remember there was one, and then I thought there was maybe a second app that you had to use. Admit it, you've considered the fishing vest at some point? Yeah, kind of. I can't do it. I just can't do it though. I don't think I'm cool enough for that. You like your pen show shacket. I've got a friend of mine. He was actually the photographer at our wedding, and he on a real part-time basis, he used to make a product, and we kind of I think Hans, you and I were talking about this a little bit the other day. He used to make a product. He called it the Pendelier, and he probably only made a few of them. But it was this bandolier that went across your chest, and then you had little slots for pens. And so if you went to a pen show, you could fill it up. And he actually gave one to Nobuyoshi Nagahara because he heard it was his birthday. One year when he was one of the few years he actually attended the Chicago Pen Show. I might I could maybe pull that one off. I don't know. Maybe not. What do I do with my pen? Everything on my desk is the same color. Pen show Chewbacca. Yeah, there we go. Several pockets and maybe a trench coat instead with all the pockets inside. Yeah. There we go. Nobuyoshi liked it so much he custom made a sailor for him when he got back to Japan, and sent it to him as a gift, as a thank you for the gift. Sounds like something cool you would buy but never use. Yeah, I know, right? Like, yeah, I gotta have that. Don't we all have a closet of weird pen show purchases? Or pen purchases, for that matter, that we never use. I don't know how many it held. Like a dozen would be pretty awesome. Let me get this out. This is out. All right. Clean. Switch over to this tray. What do we got? Let's do the first one. Good afternoon, Vlad. Been running my ultrasonic most of the morning, and the water is actually a little bit toasty in there. So I mean, it's not too bad, but we'll just dunk it in there for now. This is the best tool ever, really. This guy here. Usually you see them for regular vacs, but they're too thick. They're too wide for 51s. Hang on. Sorry, I gotta text the missus. Boy, look at all that. Some kind of adhesive they were trying to use anyway. I got less than an hour to see if I can get these all put back together. Ooh, there we go. So anybody who's just jumping in, I'm going to actually, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. As we're recording the weekly podcast today instead of Friday. So we're going to be doing that about 4:15. How did the antique shopping go? It was incredibly awful. It was terrible. We there were basically no pens. I bought this. If you look at yesterday's VOD, I did get a kind of a cool Sengbush inkwell. But that was the extent of it. It really wasn't. It was. I mean, I bought it only because I felt like I had to buy something. But I mean, there wasn't just nothing. And the funny thing was, is it was customer appreciation weekend. And everything was 20% off. So like even at 20% off, the few pens that we did find were still overpriced by far too much. Hello, Ellen. What have you missed? Well, we got the last few 51s from yesterday open. So we're kind of tackling those one by one here. We should be, hopefully, next 10 or 15 minutes, then we should be able to start assembling these. But whatever we don't get done today, we'll tackle tomorrow on the bonus stream. There we go. Look at that. I don't know what they use on these threads, but holy moly. Looks like super glue, you know. It'd be pretty hard to get out of the barrel end, but we can clean this up decently. It'll go back in. How do you clean a sloppy shellac job from a CA plastic section? Why they shellacked it is another question. A CA, Esterbrook CA? If that's the case, why would you shellac that section? Really? Really? They shellac? Hey, we're never getting this pen open again. Jeez. I would probably just heat it up a little bit. An infinite cartridge, right? Warm it up a little bit, you'd probably be able to wipe it off. Stupidly, now your problem. Hey, well, at least it's a CA 101 and not an A 101, and you know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought about that, but I wasn't certain whether or not the section can take alcohol or not. I don't know that I've ever tried because I guess this is a first for me in 27 years of working on pens and collecting pens. That someone's, I mean, I'm just trying to, can you imagine what was going through that person's head? Hey, let's shellac this section. Let's make sure it never comes. I mean, it's not like those sections are ever loose. Let's seal this thing. I shellac everything. It is crazy. Um, is shellac remotely edible? Is it edible? Um, maybe with Aurora ink it is. I don't know. Lick it off. I still kind of have uh, a taste in my mouth from when we decided it was a good idea to taste ink on the podcast ages ago. I can still taste Aurora black ink. It's awful. It was I should go back and watch that podcast where we did. I don't remember what Lisa took a swig of something too. I don't remember what it was. Probably Aurora Blue, but yeah, it had the most. Maybe it was Herbin or something. Probably the Herbin would have been better because they use all those vegetable dyes. Boy, that does such a nice job. Love it. Sailor inks are the most acrid. So gross. How many of you tested? I stopped at 1. I took a big swig too. 200? Gee. It has been in hindsight, it's been a terrible. Let's see, you committed. That's, I got to give you credit for that. You stuck with it and you kept going. Best tasting is a Visconti turquoise. It's a bit sugary. Disclaimer, bad idea. Do not do it. Well, okay, so yeah, I got some turquoise the other day from the Visconti. Funny you should mention it. Just because someone suggests it doesn't mean you should do it. Yeah, right. And it was minty. It was mint. It was not turquoise at all. So I had to test. I had to get all the bottles that I got out, and almost all of them were mint, not turquoise. It was. I mean, I don't know what happened to the ink, but your skills with restoration are really awesome. Love seeing you fix pencil. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's fun. It's fun when it goes well. When it doesn't go well, you don't want to see those streams. Visconti turquoise. Do we have like a spreadsheet? Is there a database of this information? I mean, for science? So nobody else does it? That looks like a nice nib too, that one. I just love seeing all these parts all in order in the tray. I'll throw that in there. It didn't really need it, but and a little bit of a amber yellowish, kind of like this one here. You should make a universal spreadsheet and rank from most vile to most delish. I'm a little shocked that you've waited this long to do it. I mean, that's a whole new blog. Man, I'm gonna have to find that podcast. That was early too. That was at the house, so that would have been like within the first 50, 100 maybe. Yeah, blog post. I mean, you know, I mean, we got to think of it. We got to think of it like a maturing hobby. You know, it's getting boring talking about, you know, the 10 million inks that are on the market and the sheening and the shimmer, and we need something new to talk about. Some kind of burgundy ink in this guy. Parker Super Chrome tasting notes. If you're going to do that, please do it in the car at the hospital, at the ER. And that needs to be on video because no one's ever going to taste that stuff. Don't do it. Bad idea. The more you learn about ink ingredients, the more I wonder what kind of dum-dum would taste the inks. Oh. Yeah, don't be. Oh, yuck, that's nasty. Don't be tasting Bay State Blue. I think I dropped. There it is. I dropped the clutch ring off of this barrel. Mm. I got a little blast of Dr. G's. Don't do that. B, what's your favorite vintage pen? To use, to repair, to look at? To use. It's probably not going to be what you think. Let me think about it for a minute. This week, I do like myself I do like an oversized balance, well, hang on, let me see, someone's here. Hang on. Hello. Sorry, Amazon come. They just came in and dropped stuff off. I do like vintage balance. I think they're just a nice pen. I do like senior duofolds, but the propensity for those feeds to be just so poor. And to just leak. I mean, they do pretty much opposite of what they were supposed to do. You think you're done with new pens for a bit? Yeah, you've been on a good vintage kick there for the last couple months, huh? I don't like a senior balance. I mean, I got one that I got to fix, and it's just one of those you never get to fix your own pens kind of thing. And it needs more help than I'm interested in spending the time on. Essentially it needs a new lever, but it would really kind of be easier to just replace the whole barrel. And I have a barrel, but it's not a great barrel. But the nib on it is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's big. It's smooth. It's a nice medium width. Really nothing to complain about. You guys want to try a Murex or M80? Yeah, they're kind of small. I mean, one of my very first vintage pens ever was the oversized Shaper Balance. So I've kind of had it forever. And I've told the story before, but for those who haven't heard it, I did a video one day of my top 5 favorite vintage pens, and that it was in the list, of course. And after the video, I was chatting with my friend Eric who worked for us at the time. And oh, that's a cool pen. Let's take a look at it. I said, well, I should ink this thing up. And I went to go ink it up, and the lever snapped in half. Just right at the pivot point. So I've got a new lever, but replacing levers is not fun. Good thing you know a guy to fix it. Well, like I say, it's one of those. When I have a pen that needs work, it needs work. Not usually easy. You don't believe they ever made a broad, fine, medium, or medium only on the Mirex? Oh, did Mirex ever come with a broad nib? Yeah. Eric, I bet Eric was glad he didn't break it. Yeah, I think his reaction was very similar to mine. What just happened? The good part about it is it's not anything that's incredibly um, rare. I mean, you know, it's a reasonably common pen. Hi, Don. You forgot to ask yesterday, those 50 ones you're working on will be up for sale. You're fixing them for someone. Right now, I'm fixing them. These are for a client. So what he's going to do with them, I have no idea. But there's a whole lot of blue ones with gold caps. So maybe, I don't know. I really don't know if he sells them or not. I do have some 51 51 box sets. He does sell some of his pens. Yeah. He'll probably write with them all and decide what he wants to keep and what he wants to sell. I kind of figured that had to be the case here because, you know, the PFMs were like one of everything. So, well, that's reasonable. But there will be more 51s. That's why you stick with Safari, see asterisk for vintage. Nibs, no stack, no lever. Yeah. I mean, it was a really unusual. A very unusual thing. I mean, I've never had a. I don't think I've ever had a lever just snap in half. There must have been a crack or something going on there. The fact that it was one of my very first pens. That I bought off of eBay was, makes it kind of a special pen. And I remember at the time I paid a princely sum for that guy. $40. Come on. Just the good news is the diameter of this pellet cup is really solid. Bad news is even though I've got a hole drilled in the pellet, I can't get it out. Come on. Thing about pellets is it's better to. There we go. Better to have it take too long, a long time to get out. Than to rush it. Have something in here? No. And then it breaks. All right, let's this away. kind of close back. We don't need that. We don't need this anymore. We've got the one burr tool. And then I've got another one which is designed to kind of make sure that the pellet cup is thoroughly cleaned out. So we'll just run this real quick. Guess I'm not 100% sold on this, but I bought it, so I'm gonna give it a try. Seems to get something. This one's kind of rough. Might have to use a little shellac in there. Yeah, I guess that works pretty well. Well, we got quite a bit of what's out with that, so I guess that works. All right. It's back in there. All right. We'll cut the last 4 sacks, and then we can start putting them back together. I pretty much took care of my Devon 51 sack. In. All right. Like we're missing a barrel. Ooh wee, this water is warm. So we still have to check all the barrels. Hello? I have a visitor. We'll check the barrels in a minute. Let's get these vac units together. Still streaming. That one didn't want to go on. Let's see if we can. Get it down as far as possible so that it's just easier. A little heat is nice. Let me know when you need me. Yeah. One down, 9 to go. Ooh, this one's going to be good. It slides on all the way. It's a good omen. If you're going to do vacs, you really need to have a pellet pusher. It's very difficult to do with. Oh, this one's going to be a problem. The opening was actually a little bit too big, so um, I just heated it. This pellet cup's hard rubber, so you can heat it and you can get it into shape. It feels so awesome to see you restoring it. Thank you. It's good to be doing it on a regular basis. It was so not regular before. Yeah, I don't. This one I couldn't quite get rolled back as much as I like. Really need to see a retailer about some talc here. That's a little more ideal when you get this. This guy was problematic too because it was somewhat worn away on one of the sides. We're gonna see if this works. The pellet cup is damaged. You can see right here it's wider than it needs to be. What you can do is you can put a little dab of shellac in there and sometimes that's enough to keep it in place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it just like that and let it sit. It's not a good option, but it does work in some cases. Basically, it needs to be strong enough that it's not going to pull out. And it's also a good example of why it's not best to really be mashing on that filling unit when you're trying to fill the pen. Now the thing is if it separates from the pellet cup, the diaphragm will most likely stay in place, but it just won't create the necessary pumping action to fill the pen. Is it better to just replace the filler? Yeah, I think this one's probably going to be. It's better to replace the pellet cup, but we don't have any pellet cup options, right? Um, I suspect there's about a 10% chance that that's actually going to work well. See, like this one here, we have most of the pellet cup. So if I were to use that technique on this one, it would probably work quite well. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did the other one and just kind of heat it up. And then kind of squinch it into place, and this one should hold. At least, you know, since these aren't actually going together today, um, at least I can say I tried it. If it doesn't work, you do have to be careful when you're heating up the pellet cup because if you heat it up too much, it will crack. That's good. Let's do this last one, and then that's going to have to be it for today. We'll leave the suspense for hopefully tomorrow. Epoxy is also another option too. It seems to work sometimes. I also don't have a ton of extra fillers, so, and I suspect I'm going to need one for that last batch of pens that came in. I've got a few. I don't have that many. They're just getting very expensive to replace. So if we want to keep the cost down for clients, then we got to try any means necessary. It might be enough because, you know, it's really being held in place by the barrel at this juncture. So it's if it has even the remotest little bit of traction in that pellet cup, it should stay lined properly, but we'll see. I've seen worse. It's not the worst I've seen. That technique has worked, but we will play it by ear. I'm gonna put tools away. Stab myself. So I'm going to have to cut it short today, and that's a real good place to stop. Let's make a real quick note here for tomorrow. We still need to do this. I want to check the barrels, clean the caps. We've already cleaned the pellet cups. So the caps, because they have the blue diamonds in them, they are going to they're going to get the Q-tip treatment, which hopefully won't be too bad. You can also soak them, but you just can't go in the ultrasonic where the blue goes away. We'll check the barrels to make sure they're clean. If they're clean, we can assemble the filling units. And then we can put everything back together, and we can maybe get them tested tomorrow. If not, Monday for sure. We'll have them tested. They should be assembled by the end of the day. Thanks, Aziza, Indy, Hans. Have a great night. Good luck with the filming. Yeah, it should be fun. But yeah, we'll look for tomorrow. I'm 90% sure that I'll have some time to do a stream tomorrow. I would like to continue. Thanks, PB, McEnthusiast. I like to be able to, you know, when you get kind of in a groove and you want to get things done, you want to get things done. So if I could get these done and out, it would make my life. I would just feel like I've accomplished something this week. So, anyway, there we are. I hope everyone has a good evening, a good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. All right, take care.